if I never say the word. No, I love it even if I never say the word. No, I love it even if I never say the word. No, I love it even if I never say the word. No, I love it even if I never say the word. No, I love it even if I never say the word. No, I love it even if I never say the word. No, I love it even if I never say the word. Something I can't replace. You make my heart hurt. You make me stronger. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go. Something I can't replace. You make my heart hurt. You make me stronger. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go. We are this thing. We are this thing. We are this thing. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go. We are this thing. We are this thing. We are this thing. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to the WRC race again, the fourth round of the season, which we'll be getting into very, very shortly. But first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a bit of a different one tonight. Spin the wheel for the wildcards, which is, of course, a brand new feature here at WRC. And it has been left down to me to decide. But I thought this might just be a little bit more exciting with a spin the wheel. Your choices today then is Rainbow Tyres, Reverse Championship Order, or Inter's Pole. That is what we are going for, and we are gonna spin the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everyone's in the chat to see this. I can see a few people in there in both of the streams. So let's give it a go then, ladies and gentlemen. Let's spin the wheel. Let's find out what our wild card is today as it goes round. Rainbow Tyres, I think we're getting Rainbow Tyres, everybody. We have got Rainbow Tyres, and that is your wild card for this afternoon then, for tonight's race. There we go. So Rainbow Tyres, ladies and gentlemen, is your wild card this afternoon. So qualifying, of course, will be taking place, but Rainbow Tyres does mean that I believe the drivers have to race on every set of tyres that there is. So we will see how well that goes today then. So we will be getting into that very soon. Equally, everybody, we have got a race intro coming your way as well later on, which will be very good. Wolfie joins us in the chat. I join and it's spin the wheel. Yep, well, you've just missed it, mate. Rainbow Tyres is what we have got for the wild card for tonight's race, as we'll be getting on with it very, very soon. 3 minutes before go. And I might as well bring the main screen on, shall I, for a moment, just to have a bit of a chat with you guys. But I will actually mute the main feed because we're going to get copyright. But here we are then, ladies and gentlemen, the fourth round of the season. Wolfie in the chat saying WRC is a goated league. I completely agree. It's been really, really good to, get in the thick of it with this league, get into it, and I've very much enjoyed being here so far. I'm glad to be the commentator here on the Tuesdays, absolutely. But 18 drivers here, not entirely sure if we're expecting a full grid tonight or not. We, of course, are hoping so, but we'll find out. We shall find out. 18 people here at the moment, and of course a lot of the same drivers that we normally expect here tonight. But Rainbow Tyres is what we've got. That's going to be really fun, isn't it? Rainbow Tyres. There's Chanaman in the chat. Oh my god, no. What's up, mate? Rainbow. What's wrong with Rainbow? Rainbow's good. Rainbow will be good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've just seen people aren't looking too happy. We've got the hard tyre, medium, the soft, intermediate, and the wet that have all got to get used in this race. This is going to be such a different one tonight. Such a different one. I'm not gonna lie. This race is gonna absolutely play with my brain. It really, really is. There's gonna be a lot to follow along with them with the drivers. Everybody is gonna be pitting at least 5 times for different tyres, which oh well 4 times starting on one set. So 4 pit stops is absolutely crazy. But of course everybody's gonna have to do that, and we'll give it a go. But it is literally just bang on 8 o'clock. As Suzapi not very happy. Oh mate, honestly, I'm very sorry. I did a spin the wheel. It just happened that way. Spin the wheel, of course, as you can see on the stream right now. This is what we got. Rainbow tyres to anybody joining us a little bit late. This is what we're working with for tonight. I was actually, to be fair, hoping for reverse championship order just because of the fact that, I mean, it would give all of the guys at the back a chance, and I'd love to see the quick guys make their way through the order. I think that would have been brilliant. But maybe for the next time, we can, get that on the wheel spin. But it just depends on which way it lands on the date. It really does. As we should be going in a moment. 8 o'clock now, ladies and gentlemen, the start time. As Deck in the chat says he's racing. Love to see it. Deck is going to be racing after all. As Wolfie, Jack, I've got a great idea for the 10k bits race. What's the idea, mate? Wildcards. That would be cool. Would be cool. Blake says, was begging for reverse grid given my lack of points this season. I do apologise, mate. Just the way the spin of the wheel went today. It is what it is, I guess. But yeah, great idea, Wolfie. Great idea. And I do just want to mention as well, I haven't had a lot of time to set up tonight. And for the race intro later on, I haven't actually got anything wrote down. So like it was last night, it's going to be off the top of the dome again. And it probably isn't going to be very good because I have literally been able to do one practice run through it. It's going to be pretty bad, but at least we're going to get the race intro, something a bit different, something quite exciting, and hopefully you enjoy that when we get into it. The new headset as well that we have, which probably you won't tell much difference right now, but when I watched it back last night, I can definitely tell a mega difference. It is much better in terms of the crackling and stuff like that. Deck, bet I'll give it my best. No Canadian setup. Good luck. Freestyle intro. I mean, you know it. You know it by now. That's what we're going for. Freestyle intro. It is. But I don't mind. I don't mind. I'll just try and think of something. Or in my view, all of your prompts are on the screen in front of you. Just talk about it, and it should be okay. Hopefully. Zappy saying, I use ChatGPT for this one. Fair enough. Deck, by the way, do I have to start softs and end on wets, or can I do it any order? From what I know, mate, you can do it any order, but maybe go in the Discord chat and check. I made Jack an intro booklet for each track, and he hasn't used it once. Mate, honestly, that is completely my bad. I didn't even... I think I knew you made it, but I never knew where it was. I do apologise, mate. I didn't mean to be rude about that. Loading into quali now, though. As Zappy confirms it for Deck. Any order can be used. It's just all the compounds have to be used, of course. It'll be fun. I'm just crying. So Zappy is He's a sad man right now. Going into this short qualifying session, being told that we have the Rainbow Tyres, ladies and gentlemen, to anybody new joining us right now. Right. Jack, please can you turn your mic up? Hang on a minute. That's the issue with this. It's a bit too loud. Right, hang on. Right, I should be able to be heard. Wolfie, if you let me know if that's okay. I've realised that my mic is a bit quieter than normal. I am trying to sort that out. But let me know if this is okay. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifying session starting now. We've got 17 minutes of qualifying first of all. And then we have a 50% race coming up where all of the drivers have got to use every single tyre compound in this game. That is the softs, the mediums, the hards, the intermediates and the wet tyres, which is going to be not a challenge, but it is going to prove a challenge to some people, I think. You know, strategy-wise, it's a lot to think about. And, you know, if somebody gets it right, they can be ahead by a big amount today. So we'll see if it can work in anybody's favour, if anyone can get the upper hand with it, as we have got Ferrari for life, a new driver joining us today. I've not seen this man before then in the Aston Martin. Seems like a new driver at least, as I do not recognise the name. But it's good to see that, of course, we have, where is the man? I don't know, Deckers anyway, joins us tonight. There he is in P7. We didn't think he was joining us, but he is back again, and I believe it is a 7-day streak now that he's been in the chat as well. Always joining us for the Jack Crossley comms, and I very much appreciate that indeed. 16 minutes of qualifying then, ladies and gentlemen. Very early stages so far. Nobody set a time on the grid just yet. As we are waiting for the first one. It's looking like it's going to be... I don't actually know who it's going to be. We'll have a look. Deckers is out there starting a lap. The first man to start a lap. This will be him then. The first driver to put a time on the board for us today in P7 in the Haas car, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see what he has got in store in this Haas car. Down in P7 right now. He'll be the first man to do so through the first sector. Wolfie shares us 500 bits. Would you look at that? Thank you very much, Wolfie. The 10,000 bits has been broken. It's now 10.5k. Incredible stuff. Thank you very much, Wolfie. Really, really good of you. Thank you. We've got 10,500 bits now in the Jack Crossley comms, which is a mega, mega number. Mega, mega number. That is really, really good. And pointing even more towards the fact that we should be doing the 10,000 bits race, which I've not forgot about it. I just think that it would be really cool to take place during the Christmas time in December. I think that would be quite a cool thing to do in December. You know, when the seasons are finished and things like that would be really good. But Decker's over the line then for the first lap of the day. For him, it's a 1 minute 11.305 to kickstart this afternoon off, ladies and gentlemen. Decker's with a very decent time in the early stages, but we'll see if he can find any more. Matt Connor with a 1 minute 10.3, 1 second quicker than the Haas of Decker's then in qualifying so far. $1,500 bits is questionable, to be honest. Wow, 500 bits there from Wolfie. I appreciate you very much, mate. Thank you very much indeed. But 14 minutes of qualifying. Ferrari for life is your quickest man on the grid. 1 minute 9.781. The only driver to be quicker than the 1 minute 10s and higher at this moment in time. So the Aston Martin flying in the early stages of qualifying, and he sets an incredible, incredible banker lap today. His teammate Maloon not out on the track just yet. As yellow flags being shown then on the track. With 13 minutes of this session remaining in qualifying, the rainbow tyres that we've got here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, which of course a lot of you know about as Matt Connor in P3 at this moment in time, sets himself with a very decent time in the Alpine, 1 minute 10.3 and 0.2 of a second behind IF1 Venoms in this session in the very early stages. Still a long way to go, as Deck in the chat says he's the slowest of the quali runners as usual. You'll be alright, mate. You'll be alright. Blake's behind you. You're not slowest at this moment in time. Mikey into second place in qualifying. Lovely, lovely stuff then from Mikey GTI, who has won a race this season. So has F1 Mikey Boy. And the last race was won by Billy Mewis, which, let me remind you of an incredible race. Last race around, ladies and gentlemen. Billy Mewis won it. You know, very, very marginally. That was an incredible, incredible race. Really good to watch back and really good to watch. There was a lot of clips made out of that as well. And you'll probably see that a lot on the TikTok for WRC. But what a race that was. Hopefully we can have a kind of race like that here today to do it all again. With 19 drivers, so we've got the numbers for it. You know what? I really do apologise, actually. I forgot to put on that. There we go. Qualifying, WRC. The one thing I completely forgot to put on. There it is. The little... you know, just a little finishing touch on your screen. As Mikey GTI pulls to the side of the track then in the Williams car. All on the soft compound tyres, of course, which we were expecting, but if it was going to be the Inters pole, they'd have to, of course, do the qualifying on the intermediate tyres, but we didn't fall that way today. I believe we do have another selection as well for the wild cards, which will be taking place in a few rounds' time, selected by me again, I believe, which most likely will be a spin the wheel. Or I might just pick myself and not tell anybody and keep it to myself. We'll find out closer to the time. But for now, let's get on with this wildcard event then, with qualifying first of all. Ferrari for Life looking unbeaten right now by about a 10.5 to Mikey GTI in 2. Venoms in 3. Matt Connor then comes in 4. F1 Mikey Boy is 5. Maloon 6. Ajur Toy in 7. Fozy 8. Zazapi then is 9. 10 is Humble. DJC in the chat, has the wild card been revealed? It has. We have got rainbow tyres tonight then, DJC, sorry, because of the spin the wheel. That's what it landed on this afternoon. Rainbow tyres it is. Deck first across the line though, yep. DJC, not a happy man in the chat with what we have got. Nobody quite likes rainbow tyres, do they? I don't think. So, oh, Mikey GTI goes around then, hits the wall there as he gets himself back on the track. Could have been a lot worse then, but he gets himself back on the track there, ladies and gentlemen, in second place. Ferrari for Life, the man in front still with a 10-minute timer counting down here in qualifying. Is Matt Connors out there? Has he got any time in him? P4 right now, 1 minute 10.3. He needs a few more tenths of a second then to get himself on the front row of the grid. Has he got that in store for us today? Through the wall of champions he goes, and he takes it absolutely superbly well. Matt Connor over the line. He gets onto the front of the second row of the grid with nearly a 3/10 improvement. So that is not enough for the front row of the grid. Still okay for the second row. As I'm gonna do your head in with this. I do apologise, but obviously it's only the second stream with the new mic. I turned the gain up a few earlier on because Wolfie said I was a bit quiet. Let me know if I am too loud. I also put my mic a little bit closer to my mouth because it was a bit too further away. I couldn't really hear myself speaking, and then maybe that was something wrong there. So I've put it a bit closer. If it sounds okay, let me know. If it sounds a bit loud or like poppy or whatever, just tell me. But a very nice qualifying session so far. Still only Billy Mewis and MCL that haven't set a time here today in the Kick Sauber and in the Ferrari. Wolfie, try not to break this one, mate. Do not worry, I will not be breaking this one. This one is this one is a proper commentary headset. Mate, my whole life depends on this headset. I'm not I'm not breaking this. I'm not breaking this. As somebody just made up the order a little bit there. I think it might have been Pee-wee. No, it wasn't Pee-wee, sorry. Blake is currently P12, then he's improved by half a second on his previous lap. So Zappi is up by a tenth as he crosses the line now in 6th position. F1 Mikey Boy is out there in P5 with his banker lap of 1 minute 10.376. He's going to head then all the way down into the final few corners. The Wall of Champions he goes, and he takes it really well indeed. The DRS activated down towards the line. Billy Mewis with the fastest time today, 1 minute 9.683. F1 Mikey Boy, ladies and gentlemen, into 3rd place with a 1 minute 9.857. You're David Croft and I'm Ted Kravitz, says Wolfie. 2 secs, Ted. Oh, bit of a slap of the wall there, I think. From him, 7 minutes remaining then as Billy Mewis, the man that won the previous round here in WRC. And he's looking really strong, really strong then in qualifying so far. Beating Ferrari for life by pretty much bang on a tenth of a second then in qualifying so far. It's looking strong. It's looking very strong. As we're going to get the race results up from the final, the previous round, sorry, of round 3. And Malone, the man himself, what amazing graphics he's producing then, you know, for us. These are absolutely brilliant. They really are. As Billy Mewis did win then with a time of 50 minutes, which is just crazy. It was a long race in Singapore. 2nd place was F1 Mikey Boy. 3rd was Malone. Driver of the day went to Billy Mewis. What a race it was. What a race. Deck has just shouted, Billy Mewis is the GOAT. Says Jack in the chat. Billy Mewis is the GOAT. You can't get better than Billy Mewis. He's the man. He's the absolute man. I'm sure everybody can agree. It looks like he has damage to his underfloor. Who has damage to his underfloor, Wolfie? Ferrari for life is on his outlap though, and looking like he's going to go out again to give us another lap, which is quite exciting. See if he can make any more improvements here today then, ladies and gentlemen. We will find out. 2nd place right now, but he's hunting down for pole position. He crosses the line to start his lap again. 5 minutes to go of qualifying as the Aston Martin is invalidated this lap around already, actually. So that'll be it for him. The Williams, he thinks, got floor damage, maybe. Oh, Andy J. Price joins us again in 14. Good to see him racing the CPG race on Monday. And he is here, of course, I believe his full-time league here in WRC. But I commentate in that many leagues now. I've completely lost track of who's full-time where, really. But Andy J. Price, I've seen him about, and he's back again tonight in P14. A 1:11 flat is his time. 2 tenths behind Blake right now. He needs 2 tenths of a second then to get into 13th position. But right now he enters the pit lane. CPG SGN, I apologise, Wolfie. I keep forgetting. I actually do apologise. I actually always forget that. It's CPG SGN. My bad. Of course, the merger that happened there between them. Nova Piper goes into 6th position. 10-second improvement. Lovely stuff then. And gets himself into 6th position here today. Venom into 7 right now. And just behind his teammates, the 2 McLarens, looking quite strong in qualifying so far. But yeah, Wolfie, while you're in the chat, mate, Monday's race went so smoothly. Nobody readied up. They all listened and did what they're told. It was absolutely brilliant. There was, if I really wanted to, there's maybe a little 2 things I could complain about, maybe with some people driving, but honestly, mate, mainly it was absolutely brilliant, really was. And I think that was the kind of race we needed, because now people are going to start coming back and we're going to start getting more full grids exactly like this here in WRC for the CPG SGN F1 season, which is what we've been waiting for a while. And of course, Wolfie and everybody else in CPG SGN have put in a lot of work to get it where it is. So I'm glad to see it thriving. As Venom will be coming down to start a flying lap very soon. Seems to be a common thing here. A lot of people invalidating their laps around here in Canada. I've just seen it quite a few times then around the grid. As what am I looking for? Blake is heading round, 60% battery, but he's invalidated this lap around right now. He's in P14, unfortunately, not an amazing time right now. Decker says he can't wait for you to join NRRL. Well, there is a catch to that, mate. There is a catch. It is. So I'm not actually commentating that. That's going to be. Wait, first of all, what day is that? I actually cannot remember. Let me know what day it is. I've completely forgot. But either way, I was planning for it to be one of my commentators that works under my brand name. Sunday. Oh, okay. Maybe it could be possible actually. Could actually work. Okay. I'll think about it. I will think about it. Maybe I could be doing that. Yeah, okay. I'll give it a think, everybody, because I could actually do that. So I'll have a look. But no, the original plan was for it to be one of my commentators that works under my brand name, and they would stream on the JCC Network Twitch channel instead. But they use my graphics and things like that. You know, and get them paid and stuff like that, and just bump my brand up a bit. But you know what, Sunday's free for me, and if Decker's races in that, I might be able to get myself in for that. We'll find out. Here we go then. Mikey GTI is on the lap round. He's going to head towards the final few corners today. Over the line, P4. Will it be an improvement? It will not. But a minute and 30 seconds left of qualifying today. The big question of this evening is who will be on pole position. Billy Mewis looking incredibly strong so far in this lap around. And we're going to give it a little bit of a watch on the medium ERS right now, 84%. And he's seeming to be flying. The man that is a tenth of a second ahead of the second place sitter on provisional pole at this moment in time. Looking like he wants to try and extend that gap even more in the Kick Sauber. His teammate all the way down in P13 of Tyler Adams with a 1 minute 10.7. Billy Mewis has set a 1 minute 9.683. What a time so far on his first or second go around, but he's going to give it yet again another go with the DRS all the way down the back straight. In the final corner now coming up is the chicane. It is the Wall of Champions which catches many people out. Is it going to catch Billy Mewis out? It absolutely has not. Billy Mewis towards the line in qualifying then. Will he improve on his time? He does improve by 0.3 of a second, everybody. Billy Mewis currently on provisional pole. A lovely, lovely time then from the Kick Sauber. Sets the fastest time in the afternoon. 0.3 improvement on his original. The Kick Sauber P1. Humboldt then at the end of qualifying sets second place. He improves by 6.5 tenths on that last lap around. Improves by quite a bit there in qualifying. He's in second place. Ferrari for life. He's up by 0.5 of a second right now. There is a few more drivers heading towards the line. One of them being Venom, who has invalidated. So that will be it for his qualifying session. Fozy waiting at the side of the track there. Giortoy heading all the way down the back straight then and into the final chicane before the line. The Ferrari in P12 looking for an improvement if possible. We'll find out if he can do so. His teammate won't even set a time today after he slowed down on his final time of the afternoon. Is a Giortoy towards the line at the end of this session today. P12, he doesn't improve here. Deckers then will not improve. Blake could be on the lap around. Ferrari for life, 1 minute 9.364. Who was expecting that? Who was expecting that? Ferrari for life in the Aston Martin pulls up today, to my knowledge, for the first time ever, and snatches pole away from Billy Mewis, the race winner from last week out in Singapore. Strong, strong stuff from the Aston Martin. Can he continue that in the race? Race pace is very different to qualifying pace. Really exciting stuff. Deckers then, is he on a lap around? He's invalidated his time. Fozy is not on a lap. I don't think Humboldt is as well. We saw him do his final time. That is it for qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Great qualifying session from the drivers. Next up is your race intro and then 50% race. course, he's the best commentator, says Deck. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I think you're going to be one of my #1 fans at the moment, here nearly every day. It's crazy stuff. Great commitment. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Finish the results for your qualifying session today for the Canadian Grand Prix. F1 Mikey Boy. Ferrari for life takes pole position then from Billy Mewis in second place in the Kick Sauber. They join up on the front row of the grid. Second row, Humboldt and Mikey GTI. The third row of the grid occupied by F1 Mikey Boy and Maloon. 7 and 8 occupied by Matt Connor and Nova Piper. 9 and 10 is Venom and Zazapi. As next up is your race intro. Straight off the top of the dome. Wish me luck. Here we go. See you in a couple moments' time, everybody. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to the Canadian Grand Prix for WRC. We are back for the 4th round of the season here in Montreal, Canada. And what a round it is going to be, of course, coming straight off the back of an incredible Billy Mewis win. And now coming into arguably one of the best tracks on the calendar. Round 4 then, track distance of 2.7 miles, 4.3 kilometers, top speed of 217 miles per hour then, with 3 DRS zones on this track, of course, 5.3 meters elevation, and only 35 laps, due to 50% racing here today. Here we go then, the tyres that we brought with us here today, here for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's the softest set that Pirelli offer, the C6, the C5 and the C4, the soft, medium and the hard then. What a race it is going to be, coming, like I said, off the back of a Billy Mewis win. Can he conquer the streets again? We're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, here for the Canadian Grand Prix in a few moments' time. We go at past on the grid now. How well did that go? I think we readied up too early, and I really hope... I think we're going to carry on. Where is... ever readied up to get any qualifying bans, says F1 Mikey Boy. Was someone supposed to ready up, then why are we not got 5 minutes, says Deck? Somebody did ready up when they shouldn't have, which has given us a bit of an earlier race. Only 2 minutes earlier than it should have been, though, and Mikey's already stated whoever has done that is now getting a qualifying ban. As the drivers then head round, ladies and gentlemen, the final few corners. And down towards the line here in Canada. As Wolfie says, he missed the inters and the wet. Oh, yeah, my bad. Well, I did miss them, and it's going to be, they're going to be quite quite available today. A lot of drivers, every driver actually, is going to have to use them. Here for the rainbow tyres, of course, that we've got, with a bit of a different one this afternoon, but just that is the way that it is going. With the brand new implemented features of the wildcards. Rainbow tyres here for round 4 then, as we get ready to go racing once again, ladies and gentlemen, with Ferrari for Life, who took pole position from Billy Mewis, the previous race winner here today, as we get ready for racing action. 5 lights then ahead of the drivers here in Montreal, Canada. Ferrari for Life, the man in front. It is lights out and away we go. The Aston Martin off the line, pretty decent then. The kicks out of Billy Mewis. He's going to try and fight him through the first corner. Can't get ahead through there. Humboldt then in third. Mikey GTI sticking his car up the inside line. Both on different compound tyres right now. Humboldt with the advantage on the softer, grippier tyres. Mikey GTI can't get the grip then on the inside there. Has to drop back. Malone in 5. F1 Mikey Boys 6. 7 comes Venom. 8 comes Matt Connor chasing down Venom right now. A Jaw Toy comes behind that. Fozy then is back in 10, looking for a move on the backside of the Ferrari of a Jaw Toy. Nova Piper 11, Deckers 12, 13 Zazapi. Pee-wee gets into 14 as Tyler Adamson is battling with MCL, the other Ferrari. Down at the back, who is up some places since the start. He's up 3 after starting on the back of the grid today. The Ferraris are doing fairly decent. Jaw's still in the same position as where he started. Here comes Nova Piper on Fozy then. Round the outside line he goes, sending it a bit deep there on the Alpine up in front of him. The McLaren trying to stay ahead, but the Red Bull just about with a better exit there. He gets into P9. Fozy with a much better exit. Claims a position out of it. Really good stuff for him then. As we go 2 abreast into the Wall of Champions. Who is this? It is Matt Connor in the Alpine. Fozy and Venom all heading side by side through the Wall of Champions. As we got some brilliant racing going on. Ferrari for Life picks up the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in the early stages. Behind that then, Decker's trying to make some moves up. Through past one McLaren. Next to pass the other McLaren now of Nova Piper. But he hasn't still completed the job on Venom. Here he is up the inside line. Can he try and out-drag him into the right-hander? He's going to do his absolute best around the outside line. He cuts him off, shuts the door, says thank you very much, and he takes that position quite rightfully. As Your Toy now trying to get through past Venom. No position gained on him there, as nearly made contact on the rear side of him. Venom's tyre sliding out just a slight bit there, as he does slide out again in P11, but most drivers having a decent race so far. Fozy and Matt Connor up the inside line. Fozy into P7. Great move from Fozy in the Red Bull, getting through past Matt Connor in the Alpine. These guys have been tooth and nail all race long so far. 2 laps in and already had many, many battles. The rear end sliding out for Nova Piper. Here comes Matt Connor then on the advantage. He does lose a bit of time there. Now to Deckers, who's going to gain on 1. Round the outside line, up towards the Wall of Champions. He might even be able to make it 2. Up towards Nova Piper now, who goes around the outside of the Red Bull to take the pit lane. Into the pit lane he goes. Wow, Billy Mewis then gets the fastest lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen, as we head all the way down into the first corner. What a start it has been. Nova Piper is the man in P15 with Matt Connor behind him. Possible race strategies on your screen, which should be thrown out of the window, of course, because we have got rainbow tyres today, like I had mentioned. Some drivers at the back on the wets for a lap. Of course, strategy play here, getting the wets out of the way straight away. That's Nova Piper, Matt Connor, Zazapi on the intermediates, Blake on the wets. But wow, this is going to be quite a fun one, isn't it? Drivers having the wets, the intermediates, the hards, soft, mediums. Not really seen this kind of thing before, have we, in WRC? But now we have it, and F1 Mikey Boy and Humboldt, they swap positions. Mikey into P4. And one thing I've noticed about Mikey is he's very good on race pace, incredibly consistent, and very good at making his way through the order and through the pack. And that's what we like to see. Mikey GTI is getting ever closer to Billy Mewis and Ferrari for Life. Billy now leads the Canadian Grand Prix. Pee-wee with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, ladies and gentlemen. Which is really not what he wants to be getting this early on, especially after having to make all of these countless pit stops today. It is really not what he wants to be having, is it? But on lap 4 of 35, ladies and gentlemen, the racing has been very nice indeed. I've really enjoyed it so far, as everybody trying to get the wet compound tyres on to get the worst tyre out of the way in the early stages. A wet lap for these boys. Wow. I'm sure they're going to pit straight away to get off these, but I'm not too sure. We'll find out. Nova Piper making an overtake there on Pee-wee, both on the wets then, heading through, of course, on the very bone-dry track that we have here. Who's going to get ahead? Nova Piper around the outside. Nova Piper takes P12, ladies and gentlemen, on the wet compound tyres. As the battling continues on, then Wolf in the chat says this is going to kill someone. As pit stops coming in even further. Ferrari for life and F1 Mikey Boy both onto the wets now. Billy Mewis opted for the intermediate tyres. So that is a bit of a different strategy call to what everybody else has been deciding to do. Everybody's really trying to get on them wets and get them out of the way straight away. As we're going to see, you know, some drivers are doing multiple laps on these wets, so we'll find out how long they go on them. As Deck is in the pit lane now on brand new wet tyres, and also Pee-wee going in as well. As Ollie Southall flying on the wets, heading through past the drivers in the pit lane. Jack and the Jack Blake is crazy, going for more than one lap on the wets, and others holy. I know, right? What is going on? Multiple laps on the wets. These have got some balls. Matt Connor with a 3-second time penalty. But as it looks, there's a grey cloud coming over, says Wolfie. You know, there is. But equally, I think if there was rain, the drivers would have pointed that out. If it said there was rain coming in the race, I don't know. But lap 6 of 35 then, ladies and gentlemen, in the pit lane for Venom. As Billy Mewis heads around the final corner. It's going to be a bit of a different race tonight. You know, everybody, of course, on these different tyres. Nobody really too near each other. Nobody feeling very racy or competitive right now because of what tyres they're on. The minimal grip, you know, in this kind of conditions is it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Venom into 7 then. There's pit stops now for Nova Piper and Matt Connor. Ladies and gentlemen, Nova in 13, Matt Connor 14. You know, I just want to apologise to everybody, by the way. This is going to be so hard for me to keep on top of. If I do forget, you know, who's been on what tyre, forgive me, because it is a lot of tyres to remember. A lot of drivers now opting for the intermediate tyres. The amount of pit stops that are coming in this race is just crazy. So many pit stops because of these tyre changes. So Zappi's on the 2-lap-old softs now, ladies and gentlemen. As Ferrari for Life is in front of Venom, who is gaining on Ferrari for Life on the hard compound tyres. An easy pass for him, of course, because he's on the actual tyres that are meant for these conditions. As up ahead of that is Tyler Adams, the Jaw, and Fozy. All drivers pretty much on the same kind of tyres as we head through the first few corners on lap 7 of 35, and they're at the biggest advantage right now in terms of tyres. You know, being able to handle this track better than any other driver, and of course on these better tyres they are going to be able to, you know, gain the gap to the guys behind that are going in the pit lane. Maybe that is the strategy call. We'll find out. As up the inside line goes a Jortoy on Fozy for second place in the race right now. Mikey GTI still leads, and he's nowhere to be seen by 6 seconds. But a Jortoy and Fozy are going side by side. The Ferrari against the Red Bull in the final few corners here. Fozy takes second place quite nicely there. Can he maintain that and hold it? We shall find out. There's more pit stops now. MCL and Ollie Southall, intermediates for them. Andy J. Price and F1 Mikey Boy make a place up now. Andy into 7. Great move from him. Oh, Tyler Adams then. What's happened there? Somebody, sorry, Fozy. Was it Fozy? It was Fozy. Into the wall of champions. It caught him out. That one caught him out today. Fozy hits the wall of champions. Humboldt in 9, Billy Mewis in 10 then. These guys are having a scrap at the back of the grid. Sorry, mid-pack actually. Humboldt 9, Billy Mewis 10. And if you're in either of the chats, let me know. Give us a race prediction. I don't actually think you could predict it right now. It is crazy, absolutely crazy right now. It really is. I've got no idea what is going on. As Matt Connor in P14 with his Alpine teammate Zazapi in 13. Still running quite nicely. They're on softs and intermediates, so different ends of the spectrum for them. As here comes the Aston Martin, Malone on Billy Mewis on the better tyres there on the intermediates as opposed to the wets. Oh, F1 Mikey Boy gets out ahead of him then, out of the pit lane on the intermediates. So the strategy worked a little bit decent there for him, getting out ahead of one driver coming out of that pit lane. Lap 9 F35 then, ladies and gentlemen. Mikey GTI leads this race in the Williams with a lapped car in front of him already. He's absolutely flying in this race, as expected, of course, due to him being out there on the better tyres. But that will change at some point. He will have to go on to the worse off ones, and we'll find out how that works out for him. Is that safety car or is that VSC? I think it's a VSC on the grid. Yeah, virtual safety car, then everybody's slowing down to, you know, massively slower speeds compared to what they'd normally be at, as it is the virtual safety car we have here in Canada. With the rainbow tyres currently in action, a lot of drivers on the complete wrong compound of tyre that we normally use around here due to this rainbow tyres we've got tonight. Is in the pit lane goes Mikey GTI, taking this chance now while everybody's slowed up to go into the pit lane, get some new tyres on. Zazapi retires then on the 9th lap of 35. Tyler Adams in second place now in the pit lane. Adjor in the pit lane too. Fozy does the same thing. I'm not entirely sure if everybody's going to follow them in. Maybe they are. Venom, is Venom going to do the same thing? No, Venom continues on. As the racing continues, Mikey GTI is going to come out ahead. The man in front. He is really on the up at the moment, isn't he? On the wet compound tyres right now. So his second set he has been on. Mikey does need to pit again. Oh, Humboldt and Malone in the pit lane in P9 and 10. We'll see what tyres they go on to now. They've been on the intermediates for 2 laps. Now the hards come out for Humboldt, and we've got the hards, and the mediums coming out for Malone. So now they're both done. They're wets and intermediates. They've got them out of the way straight away, and now it is just full pelt for them, you know, on these different sets of tyres. I'm assuming maybe this softs is all they've got to do now after this. Which is going to work in their favour. They can just now, you know, just push the car, make these tyres go as furthest as they can, and then we'll find out which way it's going to go, you know, then. Blake with a 3-second time penalty. That is the 3rd penalty we've had here today, I think. Mikey and Tyler Adams in the pit lane as well. Both of them now on the intermediate tyres. They haven't been as quick with it than the other drivers going on the slicks, as they're still on the wet tyres. Matt Connor coming out of the Matt Connor with a 3-second time penalty, my bad. There's now the Williams giving it absolutely everything coming out of the pit lane. Andy J. Price gets into the inside line. He gets ahead of his teammate into P4. Mikey GTI down to 5 now. Ajor and Fozy, I think, swap positions there as well. I saw a position change. I definitely do believe that as well, because Ajor's on the wets, Fozy's on the hards. There's Billy Mewis, the previous race winner, getting ever closer to the McLaren. Coming out of the pit lane is Ferrari for life on the hard compound tyres. That has worked out incredibly well for him And Billy's got front row views to a possible battle that might be starting in a moment. We've got Nova Piper in front of him, wanting to make a move on the McLaren, on the Aston Martin, sorry. Up the inside here for Billy Mewis. Can he possibly make a move on the the McLaren here? The kick Sauber trying to get ahead. He makes it into P8 then. The McLaren is losing time here. Through goes Billy Mewis into P8. He gets a place up on lap 12 of 35. A great move on the hard compound tyres. Enables him to get through, ladies and gentlemen. Humboldt with a 3-second time penalty. As we're going to look for pit stops now. A lot of drivers have done 3 stops. I think we're looking for 4 stops. For the most stops we're going to be getting. So 3 stops right now. Everybody should have to do 1 more then that's on 3 stops, and that will be later on in the race. So they are in a great position. They really are. They've got it done early. This could be a battle waiting to happen. Then Mikey and Tyler Adams, their tyres right now, both on the intermediate tyres. They're definitely needing to go into the pit lane, and so does Mikey GTI now. It's Matt Connor with a 3-second time penalty. Time penalties, getting higher and higher here today, of course, due to the different kind of tyres they're having to go on, which is throwing some people off, and especially on the wet compound tyres, they would be struggling like hell, trying to stay off the curbs and whatnot, and the same with the intermediates really in the dry conditions. There's only 2 drivers now on the intermediate tyres, and I think there's still some drivers that need to do so as well. There's Pee-wee with a 3-second penalty now, another penalty on the grid. As can we get any action? This could be some battles here. Nova Piper with Ferrari for life in front of him. There's a big line of drivers then, ladies and gentlemen, on lap 14 of 35. Head through the final hairpin, which leads all the way up towards the Wall of Champions. And Drew in the chat. Jack Rusticons is live. Yes, he is indeed. Welcome in, mate. Good to see you. As we've got, I will explain it to you, Drew, actually, as you join. And we've got rainbow tyres going on today as a wild card. So everybody has to go on every tyre on the grid. That's why it might look a bit messy and a bit confusing. Round goes Billy Mewis then into 6 as Ajor has to drop down, and now he's got the Ferrari for life on the backside of him. The Aston Martin fighting for that outside line, and he does just about take it around the outside into P7. Here comes Nova Piper up the inside now of Ajor. This man having it all. He's going through it all today. He's all the way down to P11 after being taken out then on lap 14 of 35. Ajor Toy on the intermediates, clearly struggling then out there on the circuit today, and will have to go in the pit lane, of course, to get these sorted. Yeah, they can be, Drew. MCL with a 3-second time penalty then. More penalties on the grid as Venom comes out of the pits now on the intermediates. So getting that intermediate stint out of the way. Now this is his 2nd pit stop that he has done. As Matt Connor with a 3-second time penalty. So far, of course, nobody has made all 4 pit stops that they need to do. I believe that'll be coming later on in the race. We've got people on the hards. They're going to extend them all the way to the end already now, aren't they? And then, just pit for the softs or whatever it is they need at the end, at the very end. So we'll find out which way it goes, but I think that might just be the way it turns out. I really do think so. It's in the pit lane now for a Joe Toy on the Inters. He changes them out now for the mediums, and that will be him done off of the wet compounds. He is on to the slicks, the dries, and should be able to do a little bit better now. Still Venom and Tyler Adams out there on the Inters, though. Why is Tyler doing 4 laps on the intermediates? I'm not too sure. But he's driving pretty well, actually, for saying he's on the intermediates. Keeping it quite nice and neat on the track with 20 laps remaining. There's Blake now with a 3-second time penalty then, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? We've had so many. Let's go through them, shall we? 6 for Tyler Adams, 6 for Nova, 6 for MCL, 6 for Blake, 12 for Matt Connor, 3 for Pee-wee, and 3 for Humboldt as well. There's some position changes heading down the straight there. Possibly some pit stops coming in, actually. It is some pit stops coming in. That explains why. As now Andy J. Price goes on the wets. He's left that one late. He really has. Pee-wee and Mikey Boy, they swap positions. Pee-wee goes into 12. Mikey in 14 now, coming out of the pits on the hard compound of tyres. That will be his final pit stop until later on now, so he is all good to race and extend those tyres as far as they can go. As behind him come Blake, Ollie and MCL into the first corner. Will we get any overtakes here? 2 on the hards, 1 of them on the mediums. The middleman of Ollie Southall is that man on the mediums, with, of course, a slight advantage then on the medium compound tyres, but is it going to work in his favour? With the Ferrari in front of him, who's really putting a shift in right now, and Blake behind him is really putting a shift in too. He sends it up the inside line, the Haas car, with a great move on the Mercedes, a brilliant dive, and he does find P17 today. Great move. F1 Mikey Boy with a 3-second penalty as Tyler Adams goes into the pit lane now in the Kick Sauber. On the Inters now, he finally makes that pit stop after being on them for 5 long laps. As Venom getting overtaken countlessly then down the straight. Now we've got Tyler Adams on the soft compound tyres to try and get himself back up the order. Is this going to work in his favour? My mind is completely blown with today. I've got no idea what is going on. Zazapi in the chat says, "What a disaster." It's been a bit of a different one. I'll say that. It really has. Venom just going mega slowly then on these Inters, really struggling to keep the car on the track. As Ajura and Matt Connor seem to be having a bit of a scrap at the back, and Humboldt and Nova Piper, they're battling as well up in 5 and 6. But Matt Connor and F1 Mikey Boy right now in P14 and 15, looking like they want a bit of a battle. Do you like this wild card? The Reels ruins relay racing for me when I'm trying to improve seriousness out of it. Nah. To be fair, I don't know, mate. I think for me, I don't mind it, you know, every now and then. I think every race can be a bit too much, but I think, you know, twice in a season, I don't think that's too bad, to be fair. As F1 Mikey Boy goes through to P14, Matt Connor behind that in 15. Up the inside line goes Matt on Andy J. Price, the man on the Williams, the wets, of course, as Matt does get ahead into 14. Behind that now, Andy J. Price waves goodbye as Matt Connor will race away into the distance. As Pee-wee then, he goes into the pit lane for a pit stop again on the 12-lap old hards. Now he goes on to the mediums as Tyler Adams with a time penalty on lap 19. Soon to get into the lap 20s now. Andy J. Price in the pit lane as well. Oh, battles coming here then. Humboldt and Nova Piper. Nova goes through to P6. Humboldt now gets a 3-second time penalty because of that. With 15 more laps to go. Billy Mewis in the pit lane right now, ladies and gentlemen. In the Kick Sauber on the medium compound tyres now. Is that going to be his final stop of today? It is. 4 stops. Billy Mewis is completely done. The mediums, they're going to have to try and last him now 15 laps. As Azure gaining on Venom, I don't think it's actually in the game now. The AI must be driving that car as he makes his way around then on lap 21 of 35. The race continues on. Pee-wee into 13, MCL down to 14 as Deckers picks up another time penalty today. Ollie Southall in the pit lane is a possible move there, I think, with the Red Bull, of Fozy coming up on Matt Connor, getting ever closer. The man that leads this race by 21 seconds on the hard compound tyres and pitted only once today. So Fozy, you know, that's why he's leading so much, but he will have to make those pit stops onto the wet compounds. A lot of drivers now may have made their final stops then. You can see 4 stops on the grid. Malone coming out of the pit lane, I think, as F1 Mikey Boy trying to get ahead here. Up the inside into P8. Malone round the outside in the Aston Martin. Nearly making contact there with the Racing Bull as he just about swerves it and doesn't make contact with him just there. Blake and MCL, 14 and 15. They change around too as Blake makes a great move up into 14. Make his way through past MCL in the Ferrari. Two kicks out, but swap positions today then. Billy Mewis gets ahead of Tyler Adams in this race this evening. Here is your tyres on your screen then. A big mixture. Only one driver on the intermediates of Venom, who is pushing them out hard. I believe Venom is an AI driver now if they're not being in the game. There's a dual toy with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is really going to be a detriment to his race. But if you're still sticking around in the chats, then let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you're sticking around. You know, we've had the Rainbow Tyres event tonight. Somebody in the pit lane again, a dual toy in the pit lane right now in the Ferrari. He's coming out in P13, but will it be P13 when he gets around the first corner? It will be. He's out there ahead in 13. As Blake picks up a time penalty, F1 Mikey Boy and Maloon make contact. Both of them go round then in the race today. Maloon in 8 is going to get himself back on the grid. F1 Mikey Boy, he gets back on as well, but both of them going around. Oh my, I've got to take a moment to just breathe. No way. There's no way. J-Met in the chat. How are you doing, mate? How are you doing? It's been so long. It's been so long. That is absolutely mad. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. J-Met. Jeez. Feels like 2023 all again, of course. HDL, never forget. I cannot believe that. It's good to see you, mate. I'm very, very good, mate. How are you? I'm really good as well, mate. Really, really good. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm really glad to see you. I'm glad you're doing well. You still on with HDL? Is that still going strong? Matt Connor and MCL then, they swap positions again at the back of the grid, trying to make a move here. Look at this. Through goes Matt Connor in 15. Blake gets ahead then in 14. As we've got Jacobs. How many stops has everyone done? I will put it on your screen as the battles continue. Here comes Matt Connor around the outside of Blake. Will he get ahead up the inside line? He does do, into P14. Great move with Matt Connor, and he takes P14 very, very rightfully there. Oh, J-Met, HDL died a death. No way. So it's just completely not going at all anymore. I can't believe that. Man, he was going so strongly as well. Tyler Adams picks up a 3-second time penalty this evening, which, of course, not something he wants to be picking up. And to people that are just joining us, I do want to make sure you know tonight is a wild card event. It is a rainbow tyre event, which means every single driver has to go onto every single tyre compound, of course. And that is what everybody's been doing today. Man, I cannot believe HDL's not going anymore. It's crazy. That is really crazy. J-Met, I bet he's surprised that I'm still on here, still doing it. Same graphics and everything, pretty much. We're still here, hanging on. Fosey coming out of the pit lane then. He's made his second pit stop of the day. Coming out of the pits in the race lead. Nova Piper 2. 3 is Billy Lewis. Now Ferrari for life into third place. A great move there into P3 and on the podium. I mean, a couple admins don't race F1 anymore. That's halfway. Oh, fair enough. Well, good thing going, mate. Good to see you. Thank you very much, mate. Can't believe you've joined. Honestly, I'm gobsmacked. It's crazy, crazy stuff. I used to root for you. I used to root for you in the game. I really did. You know, back in the HDL days, how good fun that was. Jeez, feels like ages ago. 2023 when I first started doing this Jack Crossley.com stuff. Now it's booming. Now it really is. It's Ferrari for life into second place. Nova Piper has to drop down to third. We're going to check on the tyres right now, then see what's going on tyres. Fos is on the brand new medium compound, which of course he will have the advantage right now. But at this minute in time, hang on a minute, Tyler Adams retires from the session. No safety car, but it's a VSC. I still race, should watch a stream sometime. I should, mate. If you send me a link to whatever it is, I'll definitely join in sometime and have a look. 100%. Billy Lewis with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The man that won the previous round then here in WRC. He now has a 10-second time penalty. Tyler Adams in the chat. Oh no. How did you retire, mate? What happened? But under the VSC we are right now then, ladies and gentlemen. F1 Mikey Boy in the pit lane. Pee-wee with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. As Tyler Adams says wheel spin. And then left front wheel went flying into the wall. Well, that's how that man's gone today then, unfortunately. Out of the race with 9 laps to go. Only 9 laps. Then we have your post-race interviews as Deckers hits the wall then. In 8th place, ladies and gents. Deckers trying to, you know, make his way through the order. But unfortunately, out of this race, J-Met. Yeah, that'll do it. Yep. Andy J. Price leaves the session. He is completely gone. Down at the back of the grid as well. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with him. He didn't retire. Maybe internet issues. Fosey is leaving it late. You are completely right, DJC. I I don't understand how this is going to work for him. I really, really don't. You know, in the Red Bull, 7 seconds to the guy behind, then there's 10 behind that. It's not a lot. It really isn't. Predictions for the World Championship, says J-Met. Oh, you know what? What a lad he is. I'm going to put my money on Billy Mewis for the championship this year. Oh, real F1. Well, I think, first of all, I think Billy Mewis will be champion here because what a man he is. Real F1, though. Oh, now you're talking. My money's on Lando Norris. I think Lando can take it. Would be nice to see a Lando win. What do you think, mate? Lando can't handle pressure. You are right. Here comes Nova Piper on Mikey GTI. Will it be a move then, ladies and gentlemen, into the first corner on the 28th lap of 35. Not able to get past just yet, and sticking behind the Williams, who holds his ground. Behind that is MCL and Venom at the back of the grid. MCL into P15 as Venom, of course, the AI right now, I think, not driving that car. Oh, Nova Piper still not letting go of Mikey. As in the chat, Lando can't handle pressure. Yes, Deck has shouted Lando. Here comes Nova Piper on Mikey GTI in the McLaren. Round the outside of the Williams. He clears him. That was absolutely brilliant from Nova. A great move into P3. What a move then from McLaren. Late on the brakes. Very brave of him then to make that move. And he made it work this time around on lap 28 all the way down towards the Wall of Champions. That was one of the best moves I've seen in a good while. Really good stuff from Nova Piper. Very, very confident. Very confident. Oscar loves a barrier, says J-Matt. Max doesn't care. Yes, you're bang on there. Oscar really fell off the past few races, hasn't he? Really fell off. Mikey GTI gaining on Nova Piper then in the Williams car. We saw a great move a few moments ago. Can Mikey try and take P3 back again, or is he just going to tap out now and not really, you know, not really have any chance of doing anything more? Many drivers here today, pitting 5 times. There's a few 4-stoppers. As we've got Tyler Adams, best little look everybody, I'm away to have a cup of tea and watch I'm a Celebrity. Fair enough. Fair enough, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be doing the exact same thing when this race is over. But of course, we've got the post-race interviews coming your way. Interviews for the top 3 drivers if they want one. So we will we'll have a look if they want an interview at the end of this race then. J-Met cheering on Mikey GTI in P4, who tells him to don't tap out. But he's just dropping back. Half a second the gap at the moment, and it is getting bigger and bigger. Billy Mewis then is behind that with a big time penalty. Last time I checked, yes, 13 seconds. There's a lot of penalties on the grid though, which should, you know, equal out just a little bit for the guys behind. But people like Billy Mewis, it's not going to benefit him at all. It really isn't. Jack in the chat says Decker said, I'm still not getting that interview. He's down in 8th position. But you know what? He's not getting the interview today, but, you know, we're really making him work for it. And when he gets down the podium, it will be a good day to speak to him in the stream chat for the first time. I'm looking forward to that day. And, you know, we're going to wait for it. We are going to wait for that day. It's going to be great. Five laps remaining then on the Rainbow Tyres event tonight for the 4th round of the season. Pee-wee in the pit lane getting on some new tyres. He's now done 5 pit stops today. That'll be his final one of the day. Fozy has left it incredibly late. The gap behind him isn't crazy. Yes, 4 and 5 pit stops today, of course. Rainbow Tyres, so all of the drivers have had to go onto every single compound of tyre today Is F1 Mikey Boy with a 3-second time penalty. He now picks up another penalty. And very impressive then to, Fosey, Ferrari for Life, Mikey GTI, Meloon and Venom, all without a time penalty in this race today. Will it stay the same then with the final 4 laps, 5 including this one? As Blake now with a penalty. They keep adding up, don't they? They really keep adding up. Mikey into 8, through past the Dual Toy. As the duel, the time penalty there as well, ladies and gentlemen. But Fosey ahead, and like I mentioned, leaving it late. Is he going to pit this time around? He's still got a lot of compound of tyres to go on to. This man, I think, has only been on the hards and the mediums as he carries on. How late is he leaving this? Maybe he didn't get the memo. Maybe he didn't get the memo. I don't know. But he's out there then ahead. And, on a 2-stop race today, when he goes into the pit lane, if he goes into the pit lane, the amount of time he's going to lose is immense because he has to make 2 pit stops, I believe. Hang on, what's he been on? He's still got 3 more pit stops. This cannot work. This cannot work. Fosey has left it too late. He's left it too late to do it, I think. 2 stops right now, so he's had 2 new tyres. Never mind, no, so he only needs to do 2 more because of course, starting on 1 set of tyres already. So only 2 more stops. He has got enough laps, but he's left it mega late. I'd be surprised to see this work. We'll find out though. Will this be the lap that Fosey goes into the pit lane then, ladies and gentlemen? Been waiting for this for many, many laps. Starting lap 33 in a few moments' time as Fosey heads all the way down into the final corner. Surely he's left it too late. Surely, unless the final 2 laps he's going to go in the pit lane. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he doesn't know what's going on. I don't know. But we'll find out. We will find out come race end, ladies and gents. But even then, if Fosey, crosses the line and wins it on track, of course we know that will be probably a disqualification. And Ferrari for Life will be your race winner. Currently looking like your race winner anyway, even if Fosey does make them 2 pit stops that are needed right now. As he heads round on another lap. Billy Mewis, Mikey and Nova Piper all in a bit of a pack now in 3, 4 and 5 and fighting for that final spot on the podium today. Mikey GTI in the best possible position for it right now as Nova Piper has a 9-second time penalty and now, never mind, gets even more time penalties than 12 seconds for Nova Piper, ladies and gentlemen. And Mikey GTI is just sealing his fate then of a P3. You'd love to see it. Really worked hard for it today as well, and race winner this season. Only round 4, he has won a race. The other Mikey's won 1 too. Billy Mewis has won 1. I think Mikey's actually won 2 out of the. Never mind. No, it's been Mikey, Mikey GTI, F1 Mikey Boy, and also, of course, the last round was Billy Mewis. Now this is the 4th round. It could be a brand new race winner again in 4 rounds, 4 different race winners. And today it's looking like we're going to get Ferrari for Life then, ladies and gentlemen, when we get there. In 2 laps time. Fosey didn't make a pit stop, and he has left it too late, I believe, unless he goes into the pit lane now, because I think he does have these final 2 laps now if he really wanted to do it. But surely it's not going to work. Surely. But if you are still in the chat then, race prediction, the final race predictions of today, what are we thinking? I think it's pretty apparent the way it's going to go. I appreciate everybody sticking around as well for this long. Very much appreciated. Fosey crosses the line then for the final lap of today then, ladies and gentlemen, and that is it. Disqualification for Fosey. He has not done the rainbow strategy today and will unfortunately, probably get a DSQ later on. Ferrari for life is your effective race leader now. Jack in the chat. Jack in the chat says my brother might get a puncture. He's on 77%. Wow. Just wow, 77%. He is pushing that car to the absolute limits in the final lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Is finally here with Fozy, the man in front who needed to pit for every single compound of tyre that Pirelli offer. He's only pitted for three, or he's only pitted for two of them. He's been on 3 different sets today. I'm assuming all, all slick compound of tyres. And today, unfortunately, hasn't made the correct amount of pit stops. And this will be it for his race. He will be cancelled out and he will not be taking the win. He will be going up towards the line now to do so. As we will watch him, though, come round the final few corners then through the Wall of Champions, ladies and gentlemen. Fozy will cross the line as a race winner on the track. But behind that, the man that deserves it the most in the Aston Martin with an incredible qualifying, an even better race. He wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Ferrari for life on debut today in WRC. Wins out in Montreal. What a race for the Aston Martin, who takes P1. Mikey GTI then second place today. Nova Piper slips onto the podium in 3. Billy Mewis 4. Humboldt will be 5. Malone will be 6 when he gets there. 7. 6 when he gets there. Oh, as Andy J. Price in the chat says, everyone is going to get disqualified for not sticking to the rules. What was the rules that have not been followed, Andy? As F1 Mikey Boyd finishes in 8th position, then Deckers will be across the line. Sorry, no, Deckers will be 8, of course, as they all move back. Wow, can't speak. They all move forward a place. The drivers head towards the line then. Pee-wee up towards the line for him. What can Pee-wee do? P13 is looking like it. There we go, that's it then. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, F1 Mikey Boy. Out lap, hot lap, in lap. 3 laps on tyres. Those who did not will get DSQ. Oh, wow. Okay. I actually never knew about that. Okay, fair enough. Fair play. Well, there you go then, ladies and gentlemen. Drivers that did not abide by that. A lot of points are going to be lost today. A lot of points are going to be lost because I don't think everybody did that. regarding who is where, but I'll let that get sorted out later. I'm just going to interview you guys for now, and we will go with Ferrari for life first of all, if that's all right, mate.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. We'll start with just give us your general thoughts on the race. I think your race was great, but just give us from your point of view.
Yeah, well, good start. Really overtook me on the start, then he did the wild card. So from there, it was pretty boring, really.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We did have some complaints about the wild cards. If you got to choose the wild card, would that have been your choice, or would you have chose a different one?
Ah, nah, I would have done reverse championship order. That way you get overtake people, like, make it win. It would have been more like, you know,
Yeah, yeah. No, to be fair, I completely agree. I think that would be a pretty cool one for next time. And in terms of the drivers on the track today, who do you think you got the most competition from? Would you say?
oh, definitely Billy Beal, especially in quality. Like, good luck from him. It's hard to beat it. And like in the race, he's winning over. He's streaming it for that. So,
Absolutely. Well, I wish you best luck in the next race, mate. It's good to see you for the first time today. Thanks for joining us in the
really
chat.
good to see.
Right, who have we got? Mikey GCI takes second place, isn't he? We're going to go on to you next, mate, if that's all right.
How we going, mate?
I'm very good,
Yeah,
mate.
you right?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Same question then. Just give us your general thoughts on the race. Then ended up second place. What do you think?
Yeah, it was all right. It was looking good at the start, and then obviously we have to do all this silliness with the tires. So yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I've used all tire compounds, and that's what they said you had to do. And now people are saying you have to do 3 laps on certain tires and stuff. I don't know, mate.
Yeah,
All I got told you have to use all compounds. So that's what I did.
fair enough. Well, I'm sure that's going to get looked at later on. To be fair, I didn't know about that either, but I don't know if that was displayed or not anywhere. Um, but phew. So for the
All,
Jack,
m-
go on, sorry,
yeah.
mate. Go on, you go.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, all Mikey put in at the start of the race is that we have to use all tire compounds. They didn't specify how many laps or anything, so I don't know where all this is coming from now.
All right, fair enough. And I'm going to spin the same question on you then. Of course, this brand new thing of the wild cards. I'm guessing this wouldn't have been your choice. Would you have chosen another one?
I mean, they're all a bit to mix it all up a bit, aren't they? You know, to be fair, like obviously I wouldn't have liked reverse championship order because I'm up there, but they're all a bit just to spice it up, aren't they? So you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So next round 5, Miami. Is that a strong point of yours or something you're quite?
No, I don't like Miami at
Do you not?
all.
I think that's quite a
No,
popular
mate.
thing to be fair, and I don't think anybody likes Miami. It's an awful track in my opinion. But anyway, I wish you best luck there anyway.
Cheers, mate.
And hopefully speak to you next week, mate.
Thanks. Cheers, buddy.
No worries. Nova Piper, how are you doing, mate?
Yo, what we saying?
Nothing much. How you doing? You all right?
Not too bad, thank you.
Good stuff. We'll start with general thoughts on your race then. P3 at the very end. How do you think that went?
Oh, fucking brilliant, mate. I don't know. I don't know how I've got a 5 place grid penalty from qualifying, but oh well. And then I got quite lucky with the virtual safety cars,
Yeah.
so
Did that
I
did
managed to jump quite a few people.
worked in the favour of a few people, to be fair, didn't it?
Yeah.
So here in Canada, is there a certain set of corners you were struggling with the entire race, or do you think you were just fairly confident all around?
Mate, it was bloody. I don't even know the names of the corners. Just the first sector was quite tricky because the tire wear's pretty rough, but other than that, it's not too bad.
Fair enough. And then next round is Miami. We've just heard from Mikey. He is not a lover of it. Is it the same thing with you, or?
Only if it rains. Hopefully, if it rains, I'll do pretty well. But other than that, I'm pretty crap around there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I wish you the best of luck for it anyway, mate.
Cheers, fella.
And yeah, good luck for that. Well, thanks for speaking to me, and hopefully, maybe you'll be in here again next week. I only hope.
I will be. I will be.
Good stuff.
See you later, mate.
See you
Cheers.
later. Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks for comms.
No worries. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you all joining me tonight. You know, sticking around and whatnot. It does mean a lot. Hopefully you enjoyed that one tonight. It was good stuff. The wild card has had some. Yeah, it's had some bad sayings, unfortunately. You know, but anyway, I quite enjoyed it. It was all right. As J-Matt, take it easy, mate. See you soon. See you later, mate. And I'm going to head off as well. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a good evening and a very good night to you. See you later.